from the 7-Storm Team. Your first alert weather with meteorologist Ben Terry.
All right, well, if you've been following me on social media yesterday, I've been making some posts to sort of clear up some confusion that some fear mongers like to put out on social media, especially when they're talking about the tropics, because we simply just don't know all the details as to what's going to be coming up with the future of this invest we'll be talking about. I will say, though, that there is still a threat. We could see something move toward the Gulf, although it's not looking like we'll have to deal with any sort of imminent impacts at this point. We'll get to that in a bit. Let's talk about Hurricane Gaston first. Right now, upgraded to a hurricane overnight, now winds of 75 miles per hour. This system actually didn't take off quite as fast, though, as the Hurricane Center had projected originally. It's still a Category 1 storm. In fact, the latest projections do carry this back down to a weaker tropical storm, perhaps by Friday. Winds back down to 65, and then it could see some strengthening toward the end of the forecast period by next week. A forecast to become a Category 2 storm there by Monday. That's all we're going to talk about with Gaston, though, because it will not be a threat to land. And what we're tracking here is still this broad area of low pressure, nothing really coming organized. The low level circulation and the mid and upper level circulation are not what we call stacked. So this is having a hard time trying to get organized at this point. The National Hurricane Center says the hurricane hunters going back out today, later this morning, for another flight through this to see if they can find any better organization. But as of right now, this system remains very disorganized. Here on our satellite imagery, you can see just these bubbles of thunderstorms, and it looks like it may be trying to see some interaction with land here over Hispaniola. Good news there, because that's always a sign that it could have even more of a time trying to strengthen if it moves over these mountainous areas here. Right now, they're still giving it an 80% chance of development really anywhere in this red area. Now, this is not a cone of where this is moving. Shows that anywhere in this red area we could see the potential for development over the next 5 days, and they're giving it an 80% chance of development here between now and the next 5 days, and it really will not be encountering conditions favorable for seeing really any sort of organization until it gets closer to the Bahamas this weekend. Again, these are the spaghetti plots, but like I was posting on social media yesterday, until we get an area of low pressure for these models to lock on, and right now they're sort of all over the place here, this is just almost pure garbage when it comes to trying to figure out where this is going to go if it develops over the next 5 days. So take these with a big grain of salt. I know the big social media firestorm yesterday was when we had that one model, that European model that showed perhaps more of a westward track over the Gulf of Mexico. And I'll show you this just because of what I was trying to say yesterday. We're going to see big swings in where this could go because of the fact that we don't have a storm yet. That same model this morning is now back over into Florida. So that just shows you the big difference here between one model run yesterday of the same exact model. So bottom line, we don't know what's going to happen with this just as of yet. If we see any development, it will likely be gradual, and that threat will be into the Bahamas this weekend. Then we'll have to pay attention to whether or not it's more of just a Florida threat, or if there's still a chance it could enter into the Gulf of Mexico. I wouldn't lose sleep over it, though, right now, for sure. I've had people on Facebook saying they've been losing sleep over worrying about it. And, of course, if you went through Rita, I know your frustrations and your I didn't go through it. I wasn't here for Rita, so I can say I don't know what it was like personally to go through it. So I can understand the nervousness factor of when you start throwing up maps on the screen like we were showing yesterday where it had it coming into the Gulf. But that's definitely not the case this point. We just really don't know, but the models, I'll say, have trended back more so into Florida and through next week, which is better news.
Yeah, there are pros and cons about knowing too much, you know, and it's good that we do have that technology nowadays.
Well, we know it's only going to go one place.
It have to be,
I'd say the chances of it hitting southwest of Louisiana are fairly low at this point. We won't really know, though, until it finally develops at some point, probably not until this weekend.
Okay. All right, so we say pray and prepare.
That's right.
I want to sing one day at a time.
Right there. 5:22.